Good Saturday morning, Looney Tunes fans. It is I, Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes Critic. And we are watching, we're watching a request, actually. We're watching a Frank Tashlin cartoon that was requested by, I do apologize, Nick Jalopoli, Jallipoli. I think that's Jalopoli, but I'm not reading print. I'm reading handwriting. I'm reading Steph's handwriting, and so I don't know. I apologize, Nick. But thank you for making this request. This cartoon, which was on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection, Volume 4. That's what we're looking at here. Although some of you more anal retentive eagle-eyed viewers will note that the circles, the color rings in the beginning, are a little more appropriate for the time, and that's because I made a new title card for that. I was going to put this out as a public domain restoration, but as a quick little bit of research will find and show, this cartoon is definitely not public domain. So this one, or the Blue Ribbon special re-release, there's I mean, unless you have a print of this or something, I don't think you can really get around it, though. But anyway, this is Tish Tash, one of the great Warner Brothers directors of all time, one of the great film comedy directors of all time. And this was his last cartoon with Warner Brothers. For about 5 years, he left the studio and you don't hear people talk about this a lot, but he went to Disney's. He was at Disney's. I think he was a gag man. And then he did some more directing at Screen Gems. And then 43 was when he finally came back to Warner Brothers. I'm just going to read some of these notes here on Looney Wiki, because it's all really interesting stuff, and I really don't know how to reword it. And, I stopped doing book reports when I was in school, so I don't need to reword this and pretend like it's not my work. It isn't my work. So, but this stuff is all pretty interesting. According to the book Frank Tashlin by Roger Garcia, which I did not know existed, by the way. I didn't know that there was a book on Frank, which I will definitely now be looking into. But according to the book Frank Tashlin by Roger Garcia, quote, several shots, including a caricature of Hugh Herbert, totaling 67 feet, approximately 45 seconds, were removed from this film's Blue Ribbon special, which is this version, the reissue in 1946. The bulk of these cuts appear to take place primarily towards the beginning of the cartoon, which I talked over, specifically during the montage sequence featuring brochures of various world destinations accompanied by a song germane to that place. Some of the brochures are abridged with dissolves, others were fade-outs. Some of the fade-outs, however, appear to, like stuff like this, allude to obvious edits. Later in the cartoon, another apparent edit occurs. This takes place during the Yuba Plays the Tuba sequence, in which a shot of a Native American fish representing the Indian Ocean abruptly fades to black and quickly fades into Lawrence Tibbet of Tibet. That's a shame. It's a shame that they don't have more to tell us about. I mean, we're seeing firsthand why this cartoon doesn't get a lot of play anyway. I mean, you can't exactly put this on TV or streaming services and stuff. Well, maybe streaming service. I mean, it's a whole new world now with the streaming services and with Warner's and all all these different options we have now. Boomerang is a thing of the past. Yeah, this is one of the formats that in the early, like the first 15 years of Warner Brothers, or at Schlesinger's, really, and the 10 years there was these the books coming to life idea. Clampett did a lot with it, but this is the third one that Tashlin did, and it was the years were 37 and 38. He did 3 cartoons where the characters jump off the frame. I think personally, my own personal favorite of this genre is Clampett's book review. But now look at this. This is him early experiments with speed with those blur lines. He was one of the first directors to be to experiment with speed and that's the thing that's another joke that was timely, is that London is not foggy anymore. London is a lot of things it was back in those days, but foggy is not one of them. Hey, look who it is. Hi-ho Silver. I mentioned the color rings in the beginning and the end here that I replaced. This was actually the final cartoon to use the orange-yellow color rings with this background. So that is literally all, folks, for these color rings, and we'll see you next week.